Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to temper your expectations on this. This is just oral argument, and we're nowhere near the vote on this thing, and we really don't know how this is going to go. All we have right now is palpable fear on the left. Greetings and welcome back. Rush Limbaugh, executing assigned host duties flawlessly. Zero mistakes. Because I am your highly trained broadcast specialist. I am in charge of what happens here, and therefore whatever happens can't be wrong. Telephone number 800-282-2882 and the email address lrushbo@eibnet.com. This fascinates me. All of this shock and surprise on the left. The media, court watchers, leftist legal beagles, they are in a state of shock. Legitimate state of shock, folks. They really believed this was going to sail through. And we have to always keep in mind how relatively young most of these people are, and thus how they've been educated. And they didn't get Constitution 101 like I did. They have been taught that the Constitution's a flawed document that needs to be changed whenever it can be. And this represents the greatest opportunity to do that they have all ever had. The very fact that Obamacare became law against the objection of a majority of the American people in the way it became law, basically under cover of darkness with every legislative trick under the sun being tried, didn't matter that it might be illegal, didn't matter that it might be unconstitutional, because that's precisely what this was about, making it constitutional by virtue of changing the Constitution and using this law to do it. Then all of a sudden the oral arguments come up today, and the four conservative justices and the so-called swing vote Anthony Kennedy all have problems with the mandate, and they're literally shocked. A, that everybody doesn't have the same worldview of this that they do, and B, that there is any objection to it at all. Remember, for these people, the government is the end. It's the be-all, end-all. Government is the final authority. Government is where everything important happens, every important decision, and for everybody. But it didn't go that way today in the case of oral arguments, and so now they're scratching their heads and they're genuinely surprised. Jeffrey Toobin, genuinely surprised. The CNN legal guy predicted this would sail through, and they probably were looking at this court's actions on campaign finance law, McCain-Feingold. Well, if that sailed through, this will. So where we are with this is the left now blogging incessantly their fears and their hopes at the same time. There is a left-wing blog called SCOTUS blog, Supreme Court of the United States. And this is a very relevant post on that blog. Towards the end of the argument, the most important question was Justice Kennedy's. After pressing the government with great questions on the mandate all day, Kennedy raised the possibility that the plaintiffs, i.e. the government, were right. The mandate was a unique effort to force people into commerce, to subsidize health insurance. It's totally okay. But the insurance market may be unique enough to justify that unusual treatment. So they take all of Kennedy's questioning here, which indicated to Toobin, this thing's dead, this thing is a train wreck. One question by Kennedy at the end is now giving them hope that he might see this as so unique that he would vote for the mandate. A reporter at the Huffing and Puffington Post is saying that it's, quote, almost entirely unequivocal that a majority of the court thinks Obamacare is unconstitutional. They are scared to death. Lyle Denniston, he used to be for the court reporter for the Baltimore Sun. He posts this: if Justice Kennedy can locate a limiting principle in the federal government's defense of this new mandate, or if he can think of one on his own, then the mandate may well survive. If Kennedy doesn't, Or if he does, rather, if Kennedy finds a way here, he may take Chief Justice John Roberts along with him and therefore give us a huge winning majority. But if Kennedy does not locate a limiting principle in the federal government's defense of the new law, then the mandate's gone. That's where Tuesday's argument wound up, with Kennedy, after first displaying a very deep skepticism, leaving the impression he might yet be the mandate's savior. A lot of these blogs are being critical of the Solicitor General, the government's lawyer, Mr. Virility. They are saying, one blog, I can't believe how poorly prepared this guy was on the mandate. I can't believe they sent him up there and he had no idea how to answer these very obvious questions on the mandates. Apparently the governor's lawyer didn't do a good job. The left can't believe he wasn't prepared any better. Well, how do you defend the indefensible? What is this guy going to say? When that burial insurance analogy comes up, he's dead. When the broccoli analogy comes up, he's dead. If you're up arguing before Supreme Court that the government has the right to require us to buy health insurance, then why not burial insurance? Why not broccoli? And this guy had no answer for that other than a bunch of gobbledygook. And all of his supporters watching this know what a poor job he did. And so now they're worried. And they've just got a little carrot. Anthony Kennedy gave a little carrot dangling there at the far end of the mine. It's right down there next to the canary. And he might find a way. This situation is so unique, and we're talking about health care. Maybe this could be okay. That's what they're desperately hoping. But their instincts tell them that it was a train wreck today. And I must tell you, I still find it, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't, because I know how they were educated, which was poorly. I'm still struck by the fact that they're surprised. That they're shocked. What world do they... This could not have been the first day in their lives that they've heard these objections to the mandate. But what if it is? What if they live in such a close-knit circle, they hang around only with each other? What if it actually was the first time they've heard these objections? That can't be. They've been made, these objections, these arguments against the mandate throughout the media everywhere. So I guess they just locked in on the idea that it doesn't have a prayer of losing. But like so much of liberalism, and like so many liberals, they live in their cloistered world, the faculty lounge. They sit around and they talk theory all day. They don't understand dynamism. Everything is static to them. And then they get confronted with reality one day, and it's like a cold shower or a slap upside the head, and they are bewildered. And it still amazes me that people who are reputed to be so intelligent and so smart can be so surprised when they hear arguments, logical arguments, that make it obvious this is unconstitutional. But again, I fall back on something we must never forget. And that is, this is not about health care, and it's not about the mandate per se. It's about changing the Constitution. Not piecemeal with this one. This is huge. You have it codified as the law of the land that the government can make you buy something. And my friends, the Constitution has finally been defeated. And that's what they can taste. In fact, it's in their grasp, but it's a little slippery and they can't hold on to it. But it's right there. Right there.